Material in this video contains content included in the RBT Test Content Outline, 3rd edition, TCO. F.10. Engage in ongoing cultural humility and responsiveness in service delivery and professional relationships. Jacob, an RBT, was assigned to work with Amir, an 8-year-old client. During his first session, Jacob noticed that Amir's family spoke Farsi at home and practiced Islamic traditions. Rather than relying on assumptions or past experiences with other clients, Jacob asked respectful questions, listened actively to Amir's parents, and included their input during the goal-setting process. Jacob also recognized a personal bias. He had limited experience working with Muslim families. Instead of ignoring this, he discussed it with his BCBA supervisor and asked for resources to better understand Amir's cultural background. He ensured that in-home sessions did not conflict with prayer times and adapted reinforcement choices to avoid items that might conflict with the family's religious values. In professional interactions, Jacob remained mindful of his body language and used clear, inclusive language that made Amir's family feel heard and respected. He incorporated visual supports that reflected Amir's home environment and avoided using culturally unfamiliar expressions or slang that might create confusion. Through ongoing reflection, supervision, and thoughtful adaptations, Jacob demonstrated cultural humility in every interaction. His respectful approach strengthened the relationship with the family and helped Amir make meaningful progress in a way that honored his identity. Cultural humility means admitting that we don't know everything about someone else's background and being open to learning. It's not just about memorizing facts about other cultures. It's about showing respect, being curious, and always trying to improve how we work with others. The RBT Ethics Code, Code 1.07, reminds RBTs to check in with their supervisor about how they respond to cultural differences and to get extra training when needed. When RBTs use cultural humility, they make clients feel respected and understood. This helps reduce confusion and improves how well clients respond to services. According to Code 1.08 in the RBT Ethics Code, RBTs must make sure their services are fair and respectful for every client, no matter their culture or background. When an RBT changes a token board to include symbols, colors, or characters that are familiar and meaningful to the client's culture, that shows cultural responsiveness. This simple change helps the client feel seen and respected, which can increase motivation and participation during sessions. Another example is when an RBT works with a family that prepares for a weekly religious event. Instead of scheduling sessions during that time, the RBT asks the family about their schedule and adjusts the session times to avoid conflict. RBTs also show cultural humility when they ask families about their values and daily routines. This helps create goals and supports that make sense in the client's real life. These actions show that the RBT is following Code 1.07 and Code 1.08 of the RBT Ethics Code by being respectful, flexible, and aware of how culture affects learning and progress.
Now that we understand what cultural humility and responsiveness mean, let's explore how these values directly apply to the way we deliver services. Providing behavior analytics support isn't just about following a plan, it's about adapting that plan in a way that respects each client's background, values, and lived experiences. In the next section, we'll look at how cultural responsiveness helps ensure that service delivery is both effective and respectful. Adapt service plans. RBTs should adapt assessments and interventions to reflect the client's cultural background and daily life. This means learning about family routines, religious practices, and language preferences before planning sessions. According to Code 1.07, RBTs must work with supervisors to ensure their services are culturally responsive and reflect the diverse needs of clients. Use respectful practices. Culturally responsive ABA practices include choosing reinforcers that are familiar and acceptable to the family. RBTs may need to adjust teaching strategies to match the client's communication style or home environment. Code 1.08 reminds us that RBTs must act equitably and inclusively, respecting cultural values while avoiding discrimination in service delivery. Avoid assumptions. Ethnocentric assumptions, believing one culture is the right way, can lead to goals that don't match the client's values. For example, teaching eye contact may not be appropriate in all cultures. RBTs uphold codes 1.07 and 1.08 by actively examining their own cultural assumptions and treating all clients with fairness and respect. Collaborate with families. Families are experts in their own cultural values and expectations. Working together with caregivers helps RBTs choose relevant goals and support strategies. According to Code 1.07, cultural responsiveness includes seeking guidance and supervision to better serve diverse backgrounds. Reflect and adjust. RBTs should regularly reflect on whether their service delivery respects the client's identity. If something isn't working or causes discomfort, it's a signal to adjust. Code 1.09 requires RBTs to recognize when personal biases or challenges may interfere with their effectiveness and take action, including notifying their supervisor when needed.
Key takeaways for understanding cultural humility and responsiveness. What is cultural humility? Cultural humility means staying open to learning, even when you think you already understand. It focuses on self-reflection, respect, and growing alongside the diverse people you serve. This approach helps RBTs build trust and deliver services that truly meet client needs. Delivering respectful services. RBTs should adjust assessments, goals, and teaching strategies to reflect the client's cultural background. Avoid assuming your way is the right way. Instead, collaborate with families to create meaningful, respectful goals. Navigating relationships. Cultural humility applies to professional relationships too, not just with clients, but with families and coworkers. Be aware of power dynamics and show respect for others' identities, values, and ways of communicating. Responsive communication. Use language and tone that match the client's cultural style and provide supports like interpreters or visuals when needed. Practice active listening and clarify meaning before making assumptions. Commit to growth. Cultural humility is not a one-time skill. It's a lifelong process. Reflect on your own background, set growth goals, and seek supervision or training when needed. This ongoing effort helps RBTs provide ethical, respectful care in every setting.
As an RBT, your commitment to cultural humility is a powerful part of the care you provide. By honoring each client's identity, communicating with respect, and reflecting on your own growth, you create space for real connection and lasting change. Every ABA session is a chance to learn, listen, and build trust. Your dedication to understanding behavior technician services, professional relationships, and communication through a culturally responsive lens truly matters. It uplifts families, strengthens teams, and makes our field more inclusive. Thank you for showing up with empathy, curiosity, and purpose. You're making a difference, one meaningful interaction at a time.